Woo! What is going on, everybody? We are in the fantasy playoffs. Officially, the regular season is over. There are 6 teams still remaining, hoping to walk away with some cash at the end of the season. The other 6 teams, I bid you adieu, goodbye. Let's get right into the matchups of Week 14. There were some interesting ones, and there were some that really didn't mean a whole bunch. But we'll talk about all of those things. There were 4 teams going for the 6th and final playoff spot going into the final week of this season, and let's take a look at how all of that played out. In the first matchup, we got Karma Is My Boyfriend taking on Fear Boners. This matchup was one of those that didn't mean a whole bunch, with one little asterisk beside that. The loser of this match got to play Will in the first round of the playoffs, which I thought was it's a bit of a win. When it's almost like I got a bye because I was able to lose to Shane this week. And Shane is going to have to fight a little bit in week 1 of the playoffs there. But a good week from Shane, 189 points. I did have Christian Watson, who was out in there, but I didn't have anybody else to fill him in with. I picked up Mariota a week or 2 ago, just in case Hurts got hurt, because I was scared about Jake Browning. But he's been fairly good. Next matchup, Fantasy Fuckboy taking on, speak of the devil, Bijan Mustardson. Will, you lost to Spencer, and you put up 87 points in your week going in to the playoffs. 9 points from Love, 9 from Ridley, 6, 6, 7, 6, 1, 3. Houston and Bijan were your only players with double-digit points. That is a tough way to get into the playoffs, and it's there's a lot of teams that shit the bed this week when it mattered, and I'm not even giving bitch of the week to them. That's how happy I am that I play you in the first week of the playoffs. 87 points? Oh, God, that's a gross-looking turd. Moving on. Congratulations, Spencer, by the way, on getting another win on the season. Going to the TD bar, taking on the waiver wire. Did this matchup mean anything? It could have, had the points been reversed. Waiver wire needed a lot of points, and he needed to win. Neither of those things happened. Casey, had you gotten 200 points, I would have given you Superman of the Week. It seems like there's 3 other occasions of it. They've all earned Superman of the Week. It's a big fucking week. A stat correction brought you down 2 points. So, just like in the rest of the season, Casey, you're a little bitch. And you didn't hit 200, so you're not getting Superman of the Week. But it was a good week. I will give you that. It's a shitty way to finish the year. I think you had actually a lot of points for by the end of the year. I will take a look at that maybe next week at what the standings may have been at the end of the regular season. Should we be doing doubleheaders instead of what we are doing now? But I'll take a look at that. But Casey, big win. Nick, better luck next year. You are out of the playoffs, as well as Spencer, and that is it. So Spencer, thanks for playing. Casey and Nick, thanks for playing. Big fucking anime TDs taking on the Browns. This matchup didn't mean shit. The Browns and the Swift Car Chase had already wrapped up their first round buys as of last week. Justin, 131 points, not a terrible week, but the Browns continues to trug along. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Dix Insider taking on Mike Crotchburns. Mike Rochburns, there we go. The winner of this matchup could be in the playoffs as long as Rob loses. So this is basically like you got to win this. You got to win this. Jordan, 100 points. 1.8 from Mike Evans. Tyreek with 10. I know he got injured. This is just not your week. Your running back issues hurt you last week, and it just wasn't enough to get into the playoffs. Thank you for playing. We appreciate you, and I'm glad you had a good year. I've heard from Jordan, and he's happy to be a part of it, even though he is not in the playoffs this year. So Wade with 148 points, and 2 from Herbert, who's on injured reserve. But Wade will move on to the playoffs if Rob loses. Rob now has to win, and he's in. Let's look at the next matchup. Rob taking on Laporta's couch scene. Every boy on his team is black except for Laporta. He's the only white boy. Chief of Stafford win and in, and he did. 139 to 97. Rob will hang on to that 6th and final playoff spot. Laporta's couch scene, 97 points. I know you had your first round bye wrapped up already, but 97 points. That's a tough way to get into the playoffs. Zeke did have a big week for you on Thursday, and that really was all you had going on. A.J. Brown is unhappy, I hear, with the way that Hurts is moving the football. But maybe that's just, I don't know, all the shit I got on Reddit. But Chief of Stafford, you are going to the playoffs now. I want to, before we look at the playoff picture and what the matchups are, you guys might have noticed I haven't actually done a Superman of the week. The person that is the Superman of the week this week is not someone you would expect. And it's not someone who has earned it ever this year. I don't think. I doubt it. How could he? But the Superman of the week this week is Justin. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he is, what is he? What's his standings right now? Let's go league overview. Skip down to, what are the ending standings? I don't know. He's fucking, where is he? 2-12. And this is week 14, the final week of the playoffs. And you know what he's doing on Thursday night at 5:22, less than an hour before game time? He's picking up Matt fucking Breida. 45 minutes before game time, he's picking up Matt Breida. Matt Breida got him 1 point, or whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. Justin, I feel like I should have had this music playing the whole time. You are the Superman of the week this week. Not only because you're here to play and you continue playing despite being down and out. You're not in the playoffs. You have no chance of making the playoffs. You can't win any money anymore. And you picked up Matt Breida, and that just encompasses the spirit of this league. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the shit that you took this year. Let's move on from that. Congratulations, Justin, on being Superman of the Week. Thank you for your dedication and all the work that you do. Looking at the matchups, the Browns and Laporta's couch scene, like I said, do get the first round bye. And I am going to be going up against Bijan Mustardson, happily, if I lose that. Oh God, I hope I don't lose that. Like, lately, Spencer's been playing better fantasy than Will. God, I hope I don't lose that. The winner of myself and Bijan Mustardson will move on to take the Browns in week 2. So that's scurry, but I guess someone's got to beat the Browns eventually. Fear Boners is going to be taking on Chief of Stafford. Now, this is going to be the matchup of the week, I'm hoping, because I don't want to lose to Will. God, don't let me lose to Will. Fearboners and Chief of Stafford are predicted to be within the same realm, and the winner will move on to take on Laporta's Couch Scene. Those two in the 1 and 2 spots look hard to stop at this point. Now, there is one storyline I want to keep an eye on. If I'm not mistaken, Chief of Stafford and the Browns have faced off in the finals for 2 consecutive years. Is that correct? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But there is the possibility that for the 3rd time in a row, the Browns will take on Chief of Stafford in the fantasy football finals. Lots of storylines to look at moving forward between these couple of matchups and then going into next week. Good luck, everybody that made the playoffs. Thank you, everybody else, for playing, and good luck in the consolation playoffs. May your team stay ever healthy and unproductive. Commish out.